There is a new trend in the wine world: orange wine. Well, it might seem like a new trend, but actually orange wines have been around for millennia. And don't get confused, we're not talking about wine made with oranges. They're still made with grapes, but it's the winemaking style that changes. It's like a missing link between red wines and white wines. If you've never tried one before, now is definitely the time to get on board and explore the amazing world of orange wines. I'm Jacqueline for Vero, and today I want to answer some of your questions about orange wines. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, first and foremost, what are orange wines? How are they made? Well, if you're watching this video, it means that you might like wine, so you probably have a basic idea of how red wines are made. At the bare bones of it, you start from red grapes, you crush them, and then you leave the juice to ferment in contact with the skins. This heat generated from the fermentation process helps to extract flavors, tannins, and of course, red pigments. So after the fermentation is over, you drain the wine off, press the skins if you want to extract liquid, and that's how you get red wine. White wines, on the contrary, are made in a very different way. You generally start from white grapes. Carefully press them, paying attention to break the skins as gently as possible, and then you usually get rid of the skins right away. That collects only the pure juice left. Then fermentation starts without any real contact taking place between juice or skin, meaning those pigments aren't really extracted fully, or tannins. But what if you tried to make a white wine in the same way a red wine is made? What if you start from a white grape variety, crush the grapes, and leave the wine in contact with the skins for a long period of time, say days or months? Well, you end up with an orange wine. The key here is the prolonged contact of the wine and juice with the skins of the grapes that helps to extract flavors and give the wine their characteristic orange or amber color. That's why the orange wines are also referred to as skin contact white wines or white wines with maceration. This winemaking process seems straightforward and intuitive, and so it's no wonder that, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, orange wines have been around for millennia. The home of orange wines is thought to be found in countries of Eastern Europe, specifically modern-day Georgia, where orange wines are traditionally made in these vessels that I cannot pronounce, that are like amphora. It's an ancient tradition that in the modern world of winemaking has sort of been lost, but now recently is being rediscovered by some producers, especially those involved in the natural wine movement. These are places and producers like La Magliosa in Maremma, Tuscany, which their orange wine, Saturno Bianco, was featured in VinePair's 15 best orange wines list. Now that we know the history of orange wines and the winemaking process of producing them, I guess you're wondering how they taste and what are their main characteristics in the glass, right? It's important to first off remember that these orange wines are not going to taste like a typical white wine. Because of this additional skin contact, more flavor and compounds get absorbed into the wine, not just the pigments. There can be other aromatic properties and tannins that come out too. Yes, you heard that right. You will note in orange wines tannins that you would definitely not expect in a white wine. Additionally, you might notice aromas or flavors that are more associated with older white wines, like nuts, dried herbs, and dried fruit, even though this orange wine may not necessarily be long aged. In general, they can come out pretty bold and intense than a younger or fresher white wine. In fact, because of these unique properties, the mix of winemaking methods, orange wines might be a really fun way to allow red wine and white wine lovers to kind of meet halfway. I could spend hours and hours describing orange wines, but you know what? The best way to really understand them is to taste them. You will be surprised by the variety of flavors and aromas orange wines can offer, depending on the type of grape and the length of maceration on the skins. This is where Vero comes in. We at Vero select only the best, lesser known and underrated small production craft wines from all over the world to import to the US. This way, you'll be able to taste amazing wines that otherwise would never make it to US shelves. These are wines like that orange wine from La Magliosa I mentioned earlier. And guess what? We have a great selection of amazing orange wines that you can try. Visit our online shop at verovino.com and you can find the links in the description below to some of these orange wines. If instead you want to keep learning about orange wines, why don't you take a look at this video right here, where we tasted one of the greatest examples of orange wines we've ever tried. Seriously, this wine was incredible and it's definitely worth exploring if you are into orange wines. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.